I mean, we can be honest, Republicans have a new look this time around. And what if I told you that the brow lifts and the lip filler proliferating in the GOP was all just a distraction? We've got a plastic surgeon, Dr. Gary Motykie, here today, and he has some suspicions. Christy Nome, what do you think?
Very suspicious for having a facelift at some point in time. Probably done a little bit of fat grafting, possibly an upper eyelid. Lip filler, there is a possibility of a rhinoplasty at some point in time. So I do think it's very suspicious that she's undergone at least one, if not 2 or 3 facelifts. Contour the jawline, lift the jaws, and pull a little on the side of the face. I think she's undergone a rhinoplasty at least 1, if not 2. Volume with the fillers in the lips and in the face. Given her age, I think she's just doing some touch-ups. She's most likely had a rhinoplasty. And then we see again that facial volume and that lip filler volume. To be honest, I don't think Donald Trump Jr. has done much work. Maybe slight amounts of Botox, so I think he lost the weight. And then I think it's very suspicious that he's done Botox, particularly up, around the eyes and brow.
Laura Loomer, my goodness.
Now Laura Loomer, very suspicious of a rhinoplasty. The facial shape has become, quite distorted. And I think that's from fillers.
Yeah, I think it's Madame Tussauds wax figure at this point.
I do think that she's undergone at least 1 rhinoplasty. A high probability of a chin implant, touch of filler in the lips and cheeks.
So now that you've taken a look at all of those faces, I think it doesn't take a rocket scientist to tell you that those are not the Barbara Bushes and the Nancy Reagans from the days of yore. First ladies and their kids and their spouses just look different now, specifically in the Republican Party. So I'm over here trying to figure out what the difference was, and I was thinking back to the dominant conservative aesthetic for a long time was that of the Fox News girlies. If you've ever seen the movie Bombshell, that might help you out. Skin-tight dresses, stilettos, blonde hair. These were requirements for basically getting that job. But when I was thinking about it, I was like, it's more than just clothes that you can put on your body or a smoky eye that you can put on your face now. This is actually a face that you can go and purchase with money and walk out of a doctor's office with. Face customization, we'll call it, obviously isn't new, but it's definitely looking different, especially when you look at the women in Trump's orbit. Now, I needed to know whether I was just seeing things or I was just crazy, so we enlisted a very good plastic surgeon from LA to come set the record straight with us. They may not necessarily be going to the same doctor, but I do think a lot of these women, these notable, prominent Republican women in America, are going for the same look. And it seems to be the type of thing that is modeled by the Trump family. Do you feel like that starts from the top down with someone like him, even though he hasn't, to my understanding, gotten a ton of plastic surgery himself?
No, I don't think he personally has done a lot of facial surgery. Daughters or family or relatives, as far as I've seen, they've kept it more in the realm of natural. So I do think that's a good trend. I think that they're, being a better example of good plastic surgery, maybe rather than some of the people in the past. So I think that it's not a bad trend to be trending towards more natural and looking like a better version of yourself rather than being overdone.
And I think I want to pull on a little thread here of where the inspiration comes from, because it's for people my age, I'm 29 years old, girls I know who are going to the med spa and figuring out what they want. They're aiming for a Bella Hadid. They're aiming for a Kim Kardashian. They're not necessarily aiming for a Melania Trump, but
right.
Have you had more people come to you looking for the Melania look rather than a Kim Kardashian?
Ivanka and Kim have both done surgeries facial-wise that have not gone overboard, that have sort of enhanced some of their natural features. So I think that she's done well with that she doesn't look overdone, she's attractive. Same thing with Kim, I don't think she's completely overdone her face. I think she's done procedures to add to her beauty and not necessarily subtract from it. But then we have patients that may, like Kimberly, that may have an older technique or an older aesthetic that have gone a little bit too far. So you want to pull that back a little bit and make it look a little bit more natural so it gets less attention. A lot of these celebrities or politicians don't want more attention because of what they've done, but less.
So this is really where everything started to click into place for me, because if there's one thing that defines our current era right now, it's about attention. It's the attention economy. Attention is our currency. So it was at this point in our conversation that I was able to figure out that there are two types of people that we're talking about here. Those who want to attract and those who want to distract. Attracting people to their natural face versus distracting people from their natural face. And it was this word distract that I kept getting hung up on because he kept using it over and over and over.
That wouldn't be as distracting if the cheeks weren't so large and the lips weren't so large. So now we're looking at everything and being distracted by everything because they're on camera a lot and they're going to get all this other attention. It's going to just detract or distract from what they're trying to do. So distracted by them and distract you from everything else. And this is going to maybe possibly get the wrong type of attention if you are in the limelight.
So the light bulb goes off again here. It's not just about getting attention, it's about getting the right kind of attention. Perhaps that's why we instinctively notice a difference between Ivanka, whose life force is not sustained by constant attention, and Laura Loomer, who's really looking for attention anywhere. The people who want to get noticed go further in playing around, taking creative liberties with their face. And it was here we learned that men specifically really need to watch it in this department. Because while they're trying so hard to project and dedicate themselves to a vision of masculinity, they might really miss the mark. I think men are a little bit more out of their depth when it comes to cosmetics, the way that they look, just even hair sometimes. Like you can see Matt Gaetz on the left is like, it's really a haircut, not a hairstyle. See him on the left, he's got a lot more upward motion going on from face to hair to God, as they would say. I think more and more men are getting involved in this. What do you think that's looking like? Is it working for them? Are there things that they should avoid?
It's very similar for men and women, but men have to be even more careful than women. Particularly if you start to look a little feminine or a little strange. As we get into that age where you're on camera again, you want to look a little younger, you'll start playing with things like Botox and fillers. And I think this is, to my opinion, it looks like an overdone Botox to his brow. And what happens is the brow drops, okay, and goes like this.
These have obviously, we've been back to back, oldest president ever, then elected the next oldest president ever, and then elected the newest oldest president ever. Do you think they're bringing plastic surgery to the White House because they're old, or is this a new trend where we're going to start electing people who have made the effort to enhance themselves aesthetically?
You know, leaders and presidents, there is something to be said about looking vital and young and strong, but also not strange. Now, President Trump doesn't, you know, again, there are some men that they like the way they look, and he's a strong leader and he's vital and he doesn't need a lot. I think that if he likes and he has no problem with looking a little bit more his age, more power to him. You know, plastic surgery doesn't have to be for everyone. So I think it's also nice that he hasn't done a lot of work so that he doesn't look strange and he doesn't look like he's done a lot of plastic surgery. So I think that's not a bad example for people as well.
Yeah, and he's offsetting his natural aging with a very unnatural skin color that he's very committed to for whatever reason. So it's a balance.
Well, you could say a classic distraction technique, right? But yes, you know, something else to take attention away from something else.
True.
You know, it may be that sort of a thing.
You better believe I'm going to be locked in moving forward, trying to decipher whatever vision the faces of power are trying to show us, and whether they're going to try to drag us to Uncanny Valley with them. Now that we've laid out that distraction is on the table, I want to make sure that you have somebody who's helping you stay focused, and that's me on WTF America. So hit that bell, like, comment, subscribe, and we'll see you next time.